Hey guys, coming on here really quick to give you my quick thoughts on the Owl House Season 3 premiere, thanks to them. And what did I think of it overall? I thought it was really good, all things considered. Admittedly, I was a little skeptical going in, as while I certainly do have a lot of faith in Dana and her crew, I wasn't entirely sure how well they were going to start off Season 3 given the limitations placed on them. Thanks, Disney. So in this regard, to actually have a pretty solid start to a third season, where unfortunately we only have two specials left of the same length, I might add. Given how much of a strong first impression they've already made with this third season overall, I gotta say I'm looking forward to it. Now, with that said, that's not to say this premiere was perfect, mind you. In fact, we're gonna go ahead and get to a couple of my own notable grievances with it here in a minute. Oh, by the way, though I should warn you, there will definitely be some spoilers for this. On the plus side, the special is completely free on YouTube via Disney's own official YouTube channel. So I'll put a link to that down in the description below. If you really want to avoid spoilers, I would recommend checking that out. Seriously, it's really good. Despite what I'm about to say here in terms of my criticisms. So, overall, what were my biggest problems with the special? Well, for starters, I want to talk briefly about the montage at the very beginning, you know, the one they showed off at New York Comic Con about a week ago, as, while it is nicely well presented and all that, and does have some nice moments, like Luce coming out as bi to her mother, who is very accepting of that, you can just tell the crew really had to fit in so many ideas that I have absolutely no doubt in my mind had numerous episodes planned for them initially. Again, I don't blame the crew for any of this, and I can't confirm that definitively, but I mean, come on. You can just tell by looking at it. And it's a bit upsetting seeing these ideas presented without being as thoroughly explored as they could have been had they had a full third season. Another instance of how the compressed time already seems to be working against the special, as well as Season 3 so far, I might add, is with Willow's presence. Now, keep in mind, compared to Season 2A, it's not nearly as bad, but it is definitely a noticeable step back from her appearances in Season 2B, specifically with episodes where she had a major part in, like Any Sport in a Storm, or even Labyrinth Runners, which was meant to be more of a Gus and Hunter episode. But I still liked her presence there, and I definitely liked how she played a bigger part in the climax of Season 2 compared to Season 1. So to take even a small step back for sure at the start of the season was a little disappointing, but who knows? Maybe they can fix that a little bit. But for all the belly aching I could be making about little things like that, I want to go ahead and talk a bit quickly about some of the things I really did like. I really liked the way they handled both Luce and even I should say, especially Camila in this. Like, holy smokes. Keep in mind, I've always been a bit of a Camila defender myself, so to see the way this special presents her as always being supportive of Luce in a bit of a flashback sequence that also highlights how apparently there's a bit of a thing of generational trauma that has been sort of going on, which, by the way, I'm kind of noticing more and more that that's kind of becoming a common trend in animated films, especially. So I also like the way this special handled Hunter as well, and how even though he's finally a lot happier than he's ever been in his entire life being among a group of friends and, you know, just being a teenager, unfortunately the past will never fully let him go, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second, but it is very nice to just see him all happy for once. And one of my favorite moments, again, a little bit of a spoiler, is when at first it seems like he found Belos initially and searches the basement of the abandoned shack with Luce, and near the end of the scene, Luce tells Hunter, "Hey, you're family now. And we actually see, for the very first time, Hunter absolutely breaking into tears, even as he's still wearing the mask. And that moment legitimately melted my heart. I was like, oh, man. Melted my heart. Like, oh my god, that was such an emotionally effective moment, because we know, we as the audience know of the kind of shit that he's been through, so it's very nice to finally see him happy that he's finally found a family that he can go to, for the most part. I'm still kind of holding out hopes, that Camila will officially adopt him, legally I might add, by the end of the series. I don't know if that'll happen, but it would be nice. I've even done the occasional fan art of with one of her even taking her in as her son, referring to him as hijo, which means son in Spanish, as well as the one that was from an open suggestion by someone on, I believe it was either on Twitter or Reddit, of her comforting him shortly after the events of King's Tide. So, all in all, like I said, I really like the way these characters in particular are have been handled so far, even if what happens with Hunter is pretty messed up. Speaking of which, so, what happens in the climax? Well, throughout the episode, Belos has been taking control of dead animal bodies as a means of being able to regain his powers so that he can regain his full body again. Leading into the climax, he takes possession of Hunter's body as to finally use the stored Titan's blood to return to the Boiling Isles. This is soon followed by what is quite possibly the best animated action scene the show has ever done to date, which, quite frankly, is saying a lot. And it's no wonder, as this was done by an incredibly talented animator for the action scenes in shows like Rise of the TMNT and Lego Monkey Kid. Granted, I haven't seen either of those shows, to be honest, but I have seen clips of the action scenes in both, and they're very well done. After he ends up wounding Flapjack, very badly I might add, Hunter regains control and attempts to take him down along with him, resulting in Camila diving down to save him, to which Belos leaves his now empty body behind, as he's now gained enough power to regain his demonic form once more. In a last attempt to save him, Flapjack gives his own life completely to not only revive Hunter, but, as is likely evident by the now change in the color of his eyes, is truly made flesh and blood, in a manner of speaking. Truths are revealed, everyone gathers their strength to press on, and it ends with the group, minus V, as not only does she feel like she's not quite ready to return yet, but someone has to look after the home while they're away, all going through to the Boiling Isles. So overall, like I've said a couple of times, this is a really, really solid start to Season 3. And honestly, it is very nice to be reassured by the team that they clearly do know what they're doing, despite all that's working against them, So, overall, I am very, very hopeful for the rest of Season 3. Here's hoping they can continue to keep this momentum going, kind of like what they did for the most part with Season 2, in my opinion. I know there are a few people out there that weren't as big into Season 2 as I and a lot of other people were. In fact, I actually have a good friend of mine who unfortunately isn't, but there's no shame in that, personally. So I don't know what the rest of the show has to give us, but here's hoping that, much like with Gravity Falls and Amphibia, it can truly go out on a high note. I'm King Gargantuous, and I will be back in the coming months with a quick review of the next two specials, as well as giving my overall thoughts on the series as a whole, albeit at the very end of that last one. So, anyways, that's all I have to say, guys, and I'll see you then.